Boom, 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 boom. We are live. It's Chris Igoe. And who else? Who else is in the room? Sawyer Cells in the house. We are doing big things. We are getting stuff done. And today I will show you exactly how to set live listing appointments by calling expired and canceled listings. So I will go through that process right now. I will show you exactly how I do it, and I hope you learn from it. If you have any questions, then obviously you can reach out, hit me up with a direct message, and or leave some comments in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I can. Okay, so let's see here. There are I uploaded 51 records. Actually, let me start over here. Let me start over from the absolute beginning because that is the best place to start. So, as always, I am going to get my mindset right. Okay, so I'm getting on the phone here. What's up, Wallace? I have a mindset that I have a fiduciary responsibility to connect with these home sellers whose agent has failed them. They hired somebody, they had it on the market, it did not sell, their agent failed them, and I need to go out there and provide enough value to convince them that I am the right guy to get them exactly what they want, which is more money than any other method of selling possible. And that's exactly what we do. So I have that unusual times. I know we are in a pandemic and a quarantine and a this and a that and another thing. And the reality of it is none of that actually matters as it relates to this particular audience. So any limit because of the current circumstance, I'm here to tell you that's absolute horseshit. These are people who are motivated sellers, must sell, period, end of story. So that's it. So we have to be very firm. We have to be very aggressive. Obviously, we've got to be safe and prudent in all of those things. And we are. But in terms of mindset on the phone, as you're calling these people on a daily basis, nothing has changed. It's the same thing. And you got to get the reps in. So the one who is the most consistent with this action is going to be the one who wins. Please understand that. There's no magic pill. There's no shiny object. There's no thing that you can buy. The magic secret that everybody knows, at least I think they do, it's consistency. So you've got to be consistent. You've got to be disciplined, and you've got to be very direct and aggressive in your mindset because these people, they need your help, and nobody out there is better than you. So let's go out there and call them right now. Now, I use Mojo Dialer. I recently switched. Previous to about a month ago, I've always used Vulcan 7 data. I uploaded that into Mojo, and I use the triple line dialer function because their triple line dialer function is fantastic. I thought the data was the same, even though it's cheaper. I had to take a month off due to some voice issues, and so I did that, and I unsubscribed. Brookie Means Business is in the house, and I only bring that up because the data from Mojo is terrible. I had heard that before, but the truth, I am doing something, so let's not be overly dramatic. Okay. You have to be quiet. While I'm making phone calls, you got to be quiet. Okay. No, you don't listen. Okay. You can go back there and play as long as you're quiet, and you can bring your tablet in too if you want to. But I say that because I thought they were similar. They're not. The data is Vulcan data is far more robust. You get far more numbers. It's night and day difference. So if you're considering a data provider, I would tell you use that in the first 5 days. So I'm stuck with it for the next month. But I've already I'm on my list of things to do today is to buy Vulcan again because the data is just so far superior. Okay, so without any further ado, let's roll. Now, I like to be the first person to connect with these people as far as it relates to the daily expireds. Period. The first person who gets on the phone with them is typically the one who's going to get the business. All right. So, and this is what I mean by the data sucking. I uploaded 85 records into the dialer, And of that, only 9 are being sent to the dialer. So it's night and 9 records. Great. Yeah, Jay. Josh is the man. Completely changed my business. So anybody out there who's even hello. I just can't get over it. It's your lucky day. I'm Chris Igoe, and I'm with Remax Direct. We've got 6 offices down here in South Florida. We've sold 15,000 homes.
I think we've already chosen a new broker to go with.
Oh, I totally respect that. Real quick question in closing. If you knew, oh, I'm calling her right back. I talk too much. Question in closing. I know you. No, please don't. Put your guns back in your holster. One question. If you knew absolutely.
I'm very sick. The reason I'm selling it is I'm in my 80s.
Okay.
That's the reason.
We specialize in finding. I respect that, and
I've already signed up with another broker.
Okay. Well, in closing, let me ask you this: do you have a cancellation policy with them? All right. She's 80 years old. I should be a little bit gentle, except I know in my heart that I will get her more money than any other method possible. So I got to keep pushing, even though I am not an ageist. I am not an ageist. I do not discriminate. Hello, this is Chris Igoe with Remax. I record my calls for training purposes. I noticed your property listing.
Yes, good morning. This is Joe Igoe, Desert Realty. Will speaking. How may I help you?
Oh, Will, fantastic. I thought I had the homeowner of North Ocean. Are you the realtor?
No, technically I'm actually with the receptionist.
Right.
My apologies. Take care.
No problem. Be safe, all right? No Corona today. No Corona Friday.
You too as well. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
No Corona Friday. You heard it here first. It's no Corona Friday. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so I'm 80 years old. Okay. 80-year-old people.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Chris Igoe with Remax. I record my calls for training purposes. I noticed your property listing had expired in the MLS. I was curious, how on earth did the property not sell?
I have no clue.
I know exactly why it didn't sell. There are 3 reasons why properties don't sell, and I suspect you probably know all of them. The first one is price. The second is the condition of the property. And then third is the way the property was marketed. It looks like you were on the market for about 87, certain that by doing business with me, 2 things would happen. 1, your property would sell. 2, you would end up with significantly more money, bottom line, than you could get any other way. I know that's a big promise, but would you at least want to hear more about it? Be honest.
Don't talk to me about the property because I have nothing to do with it.
Oh.
My son is my financial advisor, and he does all the. No, he's not. He's just my financial advisor.
I totally respect that, and I would want you to go with whatever makes the most business sense for you. Just so you know, I'm with Remax Direct. We have 6 offices down here in South Florida. We've sold 15,000 homes since 2008. We're averaging 1 a day. It's possible to run an analysis as it relates to price and email that to you.
No, I don't have a computer.
You don't have a computer. Okay. The number that I called you on, is it your cell phone?
What number did you call me on?
I think it was the 339-2973.
No.
That's not the number I called? Then I must have dialed 471.
I don't give out my cell phone number.
Oh, I understand. Okay. So are you still interested in selling the property?
Definitely.
Okay, and I got great news for you. Even with all the conditions that are going on right now, we are selling real estate every single day. We specialize in finding the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else. Do you live in the property?
Yes, I do.
Is it possible to lay eyes on the property and see if it's something we believe we can get you multiple offers on and sell fast?
I have to talk with my son about this.
Okay, that's fair enough. In fact, what I'd really like to do is meet with both of you if that's possible. Now I'm looking at my calendar, just so you know, I run a high volume business. I want to ensure that I have the time to allocate. Do you have availability maybe tomorrow afternoon or Sunday where I could swing by, meet with you and your son, and show you exactly how we find the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else?
And what is your? Could you give me your number?
Sure. Well, first of all, my name is Chris, and
Chris.
yes, Chris. My last name is Igoe, which is spelled Igoe.
Igoe.
The way you remember that, I go, you go, we all go. You will never forget my last name. All right.
Okay.
And then my phone number is 561 516 2442.
That's 561 516 2442.
You got it 100%. Let me ask you, when we do sell the property and get you more money than you ever thought possible, will you do an amazing testimonial and tell everybody what a great job we did?
I certainly would.
I love it. Okay. So do you have availability this afternoon, or excuse me, this weekend, say maybe 2:00 on Saturday?
Let me call my son and find out, and I'll call you back.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Hey, I'm curious. You mentioned that you didn't get the terms that you wanted. They didn't meet your requirements. What were those requirements? Just so I know.
The agent I had before, I wasn't satisfied at all with her work.
Oof, that's rough. Were you getting a lot of activity on the property?
Yes.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Okay. Well, let me call you back in about.
So I'm just going to schedule a task to call them back in 15 minutes. She doesn't have a computer. She doesn't have a cell phone. She sounds like she's 100. I know I said I do not discriminate by age. I am not an ageist. I'm not. Zoom conference calls, and challenging to do that with somebody who doesn't have an email address or a subject, task set for recurring. Call back. Okay. All right. Next. And this is how we do, just daily momentum, grinding every day. We got to win the day. We've got to know what the metrics are within our business to ensure we are winning the day. I heard I was on the Mastery Alumni. Hello.
Please leave your message for 954-880.
I dropped in on the so if,
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
at some point I do actually have to pay attention to the data that I'm calling. But the in-person alumni event that Joshua Smith hosts was done online. They were doing a Facebook Live yesterday. I jumped in on some of it. And one of the analogies he made was, and I love this analogy, is if you're chopping down a tree, you want to know how many swings of the axe it takes to actually chop down the tree. So that analogy holds true here. You need to reach. Hello. Hello. This is Chris Igoe with Remax. I record my calls for training purposes. I noticed your property listing had experience. I might have the wrong number. Are you the owner of Northeast 39th Street in Oakland Park? Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. Outstanding. And while you were on the market, did you have any offers?
No. We're not going to sell now.
Okay, I totally respect that. Let me ask you, if you knew bottom line, then you could get any other way. Now, I know that's a big promise, but would you at least want to hear more about it? Be honest.
Sorry, sir. I'm on the other line and I'm busy now.
Okay, yeah, just hang up with them and talk to me, all right?
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, good. Hang up with them and talk to me. All right, so we are cranking through the list. There are 9 records that have been uploaded of the 87 that I attempted to dial, and we are 4 records deep. So, of course, that means we have 12 left to dial.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 786.
Drop a voicemail on that ass.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
That's 2. All right, so we're just cranking through the list. We got our mindset on right. We have a fiduciary responsibility to connect with these home sellers who desperately need our help. And those that need to sell will respond very favorably to this approach. Those who don't need to sell, we don't care about anyway. So let's keep pushing.
Has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
What I would include the daily expired. It drops. It's not as competitive if you're calling older expireds. But the real sweet spot here is the for sale by owners, right? So these are people who are out there. They're not on the market. They think they are. They're trying to sell their home themselves. They're published their number. So in terms of most likely audience to answer the phone and be receptive, or at least give you a minute to speak, you're going to do better with the you're going to have more success with you're going to have more success with for sale by owners. So that's where I would be spending some time if you've got the time to be able to go out there and make those calls. But that's it for me right now. Go out there, win the day, win the week, win overtime. So quarantine, schmorantine, nobody gives a shit. Those are excuses. Those are limiting beliefs. There is still a robust market out there. People need to buy. People need to sell. Obviously, people need to be safe. And that tone obviously is going to be different when you're talking to your sphere. But when you're talking to expireds and canceleds, it's like this. You got to be focused. You got to be sharp, and you're hunting. So go out there, do that. If there's anything I can do to help, you know where to find me. But more importantly, if you or anyone you know is ever thinking about moving to South Florida, we would love to help, and we'll pay you a FAT referral for it. So go out there, get some, and I will too.